I'm pallbearing, not at all scary. When I open like Betty Wops, then find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Face. Yeah. Bubba C. Yeah. Rick flaring on them. Rick flaring on them. Rick flaring on them. Rick flaring, son.
Hey, yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's Backpack Capital One. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the swag, pull up where you at, no cap. If the Brody is speaking the soft facts, my advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeant is with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he off of the leash. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walk it, cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets.
What is going on, everybody? You already know what it is. Happy Thursday. It's your boy. We back with another one. Listen, man. It's not a lot of stuff. It's you know, it's a swag tournament going on, but it's really not a lot going on in these streets. They got the MEAC tournament, swag tournament going on. MEAC tournament is way more interesting. I'm not going to lie to you. I got the Alcorn and Southern game put up. Looks like Alcorn's going to pull it out. They're going to win the game, unlike another Alcorn team. But that's neither here nor there. We'll get into that very much so in the show. But, you know, maybe somebody can figure out a way to get out the first round.
And he trash.
Yes, that's all. We just leave it at that. Man, listen. Hope everybody is having a wonderful Thursday. Hope you guys are doing well out there in these streets. Let me go ahead and do what I got to do, but watch my shoes. You know what I'm saying? And listen, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I know the content ain't coming like it should. You know how I usually do. I'm probably one of the hardest working people up in YouTube. But, you know, I've had to take a step back and kind of just, you know, be more of a family man than just be on live all the time. So no, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So just had to take a step back a little bit and focus on my kids and you know, having a baby on the way and the wife and everything like that. So just understand of why you don't get the content at the high level of consistency as before. And plus, it's the off season. You know what I'm saying? Plus, it's the off season. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, my guy. You know what I'm saying? Got to sometimes. You gotta sit back and smell the roses and enjoy, you know, the life that I built and for me and my family and stuff like that. So, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that as well. But if you want to live an elite life, you got to get you some Elite 15 coffee. Elite 15 coffee in the link description below. Make sure you go support Black-owned, veteran-owned business. Go support your own. Live an elite life. Get Elite 15 coffee. That's just the only way you want to do it. Just the only way you can do it. Come on, man. Got to live an elite life. And listen, still on the road to 300. All right, we are still on the road to 300. Make sure you are becoming a member of the channel. Much appreciated. And we're still doing a giveaway. Shout out to my guy Reese, giving away NCAA 2025 for our members. All right, so make sure you sign up to become a member so you can be a part of the giveaway. All right, make sure you do that so you can be a part of the giveaway. And also, last thing, hey, listen, I will be doing a members live stream probably about give me about a week and a half, right? I'll be doing a members live only stream telling you what is coming up with the channel, okay? I told y'all in 2024, in the beginning of the year, I said, if you haven't caught me now, you will not catch me. I got some things in the background that's working. God is moving. You already know what it is. So I'm going to give my members an update on the channel of what is going on. What are some of the things that are moving behind the channel? Some things I still have to leave out because of certain nuances and things like that. It hasn't been official. The stuff that's been stamped, I can tell you. The stuff that is still up in the air, I have to do with some discretion. So make sure I will be giving out an announcement. So if you're a member of the channel, make sure you are looking at the member tab. I'll probably be making an announcement on a show about the members live. So that will be coming down the pipe as well. Got to keep you guys up to date and what is going on the channel and why your support is so very much needed. And I thank you for that. All right. And it looks like Southern is about to go down with the loss. But since we talk about losers, there is only one. What's up, Rock? There's only one place that you can start. Now, I'm not the type of guy to say I told you so, nor am I. Listen, I tell y'all all the time, my wife's the prophet in the family, okay? My wife's the prophet, but sometimes I can.
Something going on. I feel funny, can't tell me nothing different. My nose twitching.
Sometimes my nose twitching. Like that white lady on the Bewitched when she be like, y'all remember that old nigga at night? When that white lady used to go like my nose was twitching. What you say, BD?
Something going on. I feel funny, can't tell me nothing different. My nose twitching. Intuition.
My nose twitching. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate the respect that you're putting on my name. Because a lot of people love to say, oh, hindsight's 2020. Oh, Scunny, no. I have been saying it for weeks. I was just setting it up. I was trying to, bro. I literally just told you what was gonna happen, G. Wasn't nothing new. It wasn't shocking. I don't know why he was sick. He doing his live streams. Oh man, I'm sick. Oh, I'm sick. I told you. I feel like remember the Titans. What you mean you ain't know? Nah, Blue, I told him. If you gonna have us going in a restaurant, if you gonna have your Alkanites going down to Birmingham thinking that you gonna win a championship, why? I done told you it was another first round exit. I done told you. Matter of fact, check the date. Check the date. A first round, what day did I say? March 5th, 2024. That's what that says. Let me blow it up a little big for y'all. March 5th, 2024. Swag trivia. I am big, I'm bad. Nah, a first round exit. That's what that is. That's what I told him. I told him what was coming down. Now the real thing that needs to happen is we really need to have a conversation about Bussy. First of all, what kind of last name is that? Right? Boosie, Bussy, whatever, right? We need to have a conversation about him because I'm seeing a lot of regular season stuff that does not equate to March time. And Tamika Reed said it best. The only thing that matters is March. Because she going to the Tamika Reed Invitational. Okay? Don't even call it the SWAC tournament on the women's side. It's called the Tamika Reed Invitational. That's what it's called. Tamika Reed Invitational. Right? So she doing what she doing. You even had Southern slip up, trip, fall, bump their head. They won a championship. This Bama has either been the #1 seed or the #2 seed and has got knocked in the first. If he was at a PWI, he would have been fired yesterday. He would have been fired yesterday. You didn't have the #1 seed the first time and lost, and you didn't have the #2 seed this time with like a 7-8 game. I think it was like a 9-game winning streak. And you lose to Alabama A&M? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Well, I mean, goddamn, like you can't get to the second round. Just at least get to if you're gonna lose in the quarterfinals. Don't lose in the. I mean, it's technically the opening round, but they call them the semifinals. But you know, the SWAC does everything ass backwards anyway. So let's just call it what it is. So I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't know why people have expectation of this man to do something. Like his resume tells you he loses when it matters the most. The conversation needs to be had, bro. What are you doing? You lost to Alabama A&M. Huh? What? Come on, man. Come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? But, you know, like anything else, you know, all good things must come to an end. And I'm not here to say somebody should be fired. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is his postseason resume is nothing to, like, it's nothing to be like, oh, maybe we should keep him. For what? Like, it's not like you've gone to back-to-back championships and lost. Right, I can respect that. Like you get to the championship game and things like that. Cool, whoop-de-doo. You know what I'm saying? I feel you. You lose. It happens. Like somebody got to win, somebody got to lose. That's the name of the game. But to just keep getting knocked out in the first round, nah, I can't let that rock. Nah, I can't let that rock. Can't let that rock. I want to get what Quentin Major said. We need to have a conversation about the SWAC basketball tournament. It's bad. It's bad. Listen, first, let's be honest. It's trash. And having it in Birmingham does not make Birmingham is not a basketball city. The Magic City Classic being in Birmingham is also not good. But the reason is it's so synonymous with the city, it works. But Birmingham is not a good city. It is not. It isn't. I don't know where you move it to, if I'm being honest, but Birmingham ain't it. Birmingham ain't it. But that's how the SWAC gets down. What's the cheap route? What's the easiest route? We're going to do this. They're going to give us a good deal. They're going to get a good discount. Blase, blah, blase, blah. You know what I'm saying? That just is what it is. But Birmingham is not a good city. It's not a basketball town. It's not a basketball city. And year after year, you look at this. I don't know how ESPN shows these games and like nobody's in attendance. Absolutely nobody. If they move it to Mobile, I will never show up. Not never. All right. I like Baton Rouge. I think Baton Rouge would be a nice city to have it at. It's not a basketball city, but it's nice. It's not a bad city, right? You know what I'm saying? Need to be in Atlanta and move it to New Orleans. It needs to be anywhere outside of Birmingham, Alabama. Period. I don't give a damn what you're talking about, right? It needs to be gone from Birmingham, Alabama. That's the tough part. But the CIAA is the same situation, and the CIAA gets way more crowds. So it is what it is. It's not and I agree with you. The games are at like noon in the midday, 2:00 in the afternoon. It's just first of all, it's a hard time set, right? Because I get, with the ESPN time slots and everything like that. It's a hard time frame to meet it in. Who not working at noon? What, you gonna go on your lunch break? You gonna go to your lunch break and go watch some basketball? Oh yeah, I'm gonna stop by Popeyes real quick. I'm gonna swing by the game and then I'm gonna go back. It's just the beast of it, right? Like, you need these games to be at 3, 6, and 9. That's really what it needs to be: 3, 6, and 9, 4, 6, and 8, maybe, or whatever, however it's seen. But once again, it's up to ESPN on how they're displaying the game and the time slots of the game. But if you're having them during the week, and, it is what it is. Listen, man, SWAC fans do not care about it. Listen, it's very simple. SWAC fans do not care about anything other than football. Period. Right? And then the only time they come together like Captain Planet is when your team is in a tournament. Right? When the team goes to the NCAA tournament, that's when HBCU schools want to combine like Captain Planet. Dark powers combined. That's really what it is. Because nobody cares about the tournament unless you're the CIAA or the MEAC, which is a basketball. Those are basketball schools, right? They're in basketball country. You know what I'm saying? Virginia, Maryland. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are basketball countries. That's just what we are. We play football. We're damn good at it, but we're basketball cities, right? So it's more involvement, it's more inclusiveness, and the South is a football city, it's a football country, right? It's all about football and things like that. So you got to throw that in contention. And honestly, I'm gonna tell you this: if you're not losing money,
you are the only participant in the conference. All participants are muted.
We not okay. We nice. Stop playing with me. We nice. Don't play with me. We nice. Don't play with me. We nice. All right. But if you're not losing money in this situation, it's not really hurting you. And it just looks bad, right? Like, it's like this. If you throw a party and you didn't have to pay for it, but nobody comes, your feelings gonna be hurt, but you're gonna walk away like, I ain't lose no money. I ain't have to pay for it. I would feel bad if I had to pay for it and nobody showed up, right? So you gotta take the good and the bad with it. So it's like, okay, we could move it. We could possibly move it to another city, pay a lot of money to be there, and nobody show up. Which most ninjas don't. You see what I'm saying? So it's a lot of that, right? And I agree. I think if the time slots were moved later in the day, I think you have a win. You know what I'm saying? I think if you start the tournament at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I think you have a win. I really do. But having the situation where it is, it's not what it is. It is not what it is. Yeah, I'm watching the game too, Blue. I was just watching the game. Alcorn beats Southern women basketball. So knock out the defending champion. So it looks like Tamika Reed Invitational, stand still. The Tamika Reed Invitational, stand still. Well, okay. I knew somebody was going to say that. Swag got to get the city involved. Oh, yeah. I agree. I do agree with that. The CIAA knows their value, though. If I'm being honest, there is no value in the swag basketball tournament, right? Like, it's like the swag basketball tournament is like you have a car, right, that drives, but nobody wants your car. Nobody wants your car. Nobody wants it, right? You be like, man, I got this 1999 Toyota Corolla. It get me to A to B. Who want it? They be like, I'll take it off your hands, but I'm not going to pay you for that, right? And you got to look at there's no value in this. Let's keep it a buck. There is no value in the SWAC tournament. You're not bringing the CIAA basketball tournament was bringing an influx of money to Charlotte. When the tournament touched down, you felt it in the city of Charlotte. The SWAC tournament is not the same. They have no leverage. What leverage does the SWAC tournament bring? You bring in a couple stragglers into Birmingham, you know what I'm saying, to watch a SWAC tournament game. It might be 50 people up in that stadium, right? It might be. So you have no leverage. You can't go to a city of Baton Rouge and be like, hey, listen, right? We bringing in millions of dollars into Birmingham. Just imagine what we could do in Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge City Council be like, first of all, it's Birmingham. We don't give a damn. And second of all, you ain't bringing nothing to Baton Rouge. I mean, you're not bringing anything to Birmingham, right? So it's a lot of those to play. I think the money is not behind them enough to really ask for something like if, let's say it's a big classic game or a big classic football game or something like that, where you have the leverage, where you have the numbers, you have the finances behind you. You know what I'm saying? But come on, like, if you bring in 100 to 200 people into a game, that's not moving the needle. It's not even close to moving the needle, right? And then when you're like the SWAC and you don't get the city involved as much as you should, then you make it even worse, right? You have Baltimore having like a Baltimore buck system for Black-owned businesses in the community for you to they got a list of Black-owned communities and vendors and all this stuff to make people go into the city and spend money in the city. You're not getting that in Birmingham, okay? You know what you're getting in Birmingham? Birmingham is getting that same cookie every Valentine's Day. Same cookie. Ooh, what you do for me, babe? Ta-da. Ta-da. I just dress it up differently. Ta-da. That's all this SWAC tournament is. It's the same booty. All right? It's the same booty, different day. It's the same booty, different day. That's all it is. That's the definition of the SWAC tournament. Same booty, different day. So, and listen, any guy know what I'm talking about, right? You be like, oh yeah. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and turn over. Do it the way I like. You know what I'm saying? So that's the SWAC tournament. But it's Alabama A&M. Guess half that crowd was probably Alabama, right? Like Huntsville, Birmingham. It's not, they're used to making that drive for the Mag City Classic. You get what I'm saying? So that's a home game. It's essentially like an extended home game, right? If them Bamas are driving to Mobile to go see basketball, You can damn sure take your ass to Birmingham. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's just one game. You know what I'm saying? That's just one game. You need that type of attendance. You need 1,000 to 1,200 people in attendance for the tournament. You know what I'm saying? Not just for that one game, but you know, that's the nature of the beast. But like I said, I told you that they weren't good. I told them first round exit was coming. You know what I'm saying? A first round exit was coming. But what they should have got was some Elite 15 coffee to wake their ass up to play the game. Elite 15 coffee. Make sure you go get yourself some. Link in the description below. Elite 15 coffee. The reason that Alcorn lost is because they ain't had no Elite 15 coffee. That's exactly why. I can tell you that right now. If you want to do elite things on another level, get yourself Elite 15 coffee. Black-owned, veteran-owned business. Get yourself some Elite 15 coffee today. Now, I've been waiting to talk about this. Oh, I've been waiting to talk about this. The raffle that broke the internet. Now, my co-host, Perry White, and he's in the chat today, as you can see, he made it very clear on Outspoken. He said, you know what, Scotty? I knew she was shooting at the breeze. She was shooting in the breeze. She was shooting from the hip when she said, we did a raffle to raise money. Now, I thought that was a one-off, right? I thought that was truly a one-off. But she said, you know what? We did so well, we're going to run it back again. She said, we did so well that we going to run it back again. Get yourself a Telfair bag. Telfar. I don't know what to call. Beyonce was wearing them. It's a black-owned company, black-owned designer. Raffle tickets to a weekly giveaway. Now, a lot of people, and I'm not going to say no names, right? But a lot of people was like, oh, don't talk about, you know, them raising funding money and blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. My thing is this. You have to see it in the bigger picture. The fact of the matter is that whoever, because in the next slide, you're going to see who did the fundraiser, but it doesn't matter. Oh, this is real. This is real, right? It doesn't matter who started the fundraising. That's not the point. The point that you need to focus on is this. Is if your AD was raising money, you wouldn't have to do this. And I'm going to keep saying it. It's bad. It's bad. If you got a listen, let me move it forward, right? Because the AD, BGC, big girl in charge, right? Thanks for your interest. Telfair donated the product to our track and field program. The coach decided to raffle some of the product as a fundraiser. I appreciate our coach taking the lead on this. I was not involved, but I am supportive. I hope you are too. You're not involved, but you're supportive. I'm going to say that again. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. I'm not involved, but I'm supportive. I'm not involved, but I'm supportive. You are the athletic director. I'm going to say that again. You are, and let's be very clear. It was a few weeks of people jumping online on the Twitter, on the X, on their website, in their posts, writing all this shit about how she's the AD and nobody should tell her how to do her job. But now all of a sudden, I'm not involved, but I'm supportive. I'm not involved. It wasn't my idea. It's my athletic department. It wasn't my idea, but I'm supportive. Oh, I'm going to support. That shit does not make sense. I'm sorry. And people are going to be like, Scotty, you're so hard on her. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, bro, this is your job. Your job as an AD is to fundraise. And it doesn't make it any better that your predecessor was a hell of a fundraiser. And I'm going to keep yelling it from the mountaintops. This is what happens when you get too big for your britches. You think you're more important than you are, and you bite the hand that feeds you, and the hand that was feeding you says, all right, you good, boo-boo. Do it on your own. You have your track and field program out here selling bags like Baby Boy on the corner. That's really what it is. You out here selling bags like Baby Boy at the salon. That's what, I mean, really, you're talking about bro, what are we doing? What are we doing? See, people will make excuses for anything to make it, like, if you're a friend, or like this is your soror or Sarah, whatever they call themselves, sisters and pledge. I don't give a damn, right? You'll shift the narrative to make it seem like, oh, but Scotty, she's doing so well. But no, your job is to fundraise. That is your job. That is a part of the stipulations in your contract to say you need to fundraise. And having your athletic department, because it's not just the track team. You see what I'm saying? Let me say that. I want to be very clear. Do you believe if somebody came, I'm not talking Dion, but do you believe that if somebody came to the football department and said, hey, I want to give $1 million to the football team, you don't think she would siphon off that money for the athletic department? I'm going to say that again. If you think a donor was going to go to Willie or go to the FAMU football team and say, hey, I want to give you $500,000, you don't think she's going to be like, hey, do y'all want to give $100,000 to the athletic department and we'll let you keep $400,000? Because her agenda is for everybody. It's not just for one program. She's supposed to care for all the sports. So the mere fact that one of your sports is out here having to do a tail far raffle should be beneath the program. Like, you do that for like a thank you, right? For the people who donated and, for like, hey, we want to give back. We appreciate the support for the track team and those type of things. This should not be a fundraiser. But let me tell you this, though. I got to give a shout out to Mr. D, and he's in here. He made a tweet right here, Mr. D. He made a tweet, and he said, what should have happened is FAMU should have gone to Louis Vuitton and asked them if they can make them a custom Louis Vuitton FAMU set, like a set of luggages or a set of bags, and then auction it off. I said, damn, that's genius. I said, listen, I don't give a damn what color them hoes in, okay? I want some of that. You talking about a custom-made FAMU luggage set by Louis Vuitton? Now, listen, I know FAMU has got some people with some long money. I probably wouldn't have been able to compete. I'm just going to keep it honest. I wouldn't be able. Now, if we was in a raffle, I could, the raffle let the little people in. You know what I'm saying? The auction, you got to have long money. My money ain't that long, right? But to me, that's a genius idea, because the exclusivity of what you're talking about is going to make everybody participate. Nobody gives two shits about a tall fair bag that they can go buy themselves. right? Ooh, if I'm gonna give you $25 just to see if I win. Okay, cool, whatever, right? It's something like that, but you gotta think outside the box. And I'm gonna keep saying it. Y'all can be on your high more, y'all can be in your high and horses and all this type of stuff. Black girl magic, black girl this, black girl. She ass. I'm sorry. Because listen, make her the compliance director. Don't put her as an AD. She can't fundraise. From what I've been told, she hasn't been able to raise over 50. Listen to me. She has not been able to raise on her own accord over $50,000. Just like going to donors and all this and that. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Gaucher was raising like millions. I think he raised like, if I'm not mistaken, I think he raised like $2 or $3 million when he was in, you know what I'm saying? When he was a part of being the AD at FAMU. So it's all about what this is the part where you have to, what is it about for you? Right? Because to me, I want an AD who can fundraise because I have to support my athletics. Compliance matters. I won't say it doesn't, because if I don't have the student athletes that are eligible to play, I don't have a team. So I get it. But then just do your due diligence and hire compliance people, but don't skip over and make a huge implication of a hiring because we need compliance. We need compliance, right? So once again, and I'm gonna give her kudos. The basketball coach that she hired, Miss Gordon, took them to a tournament. They haven't been in a tournament in the SWAC, or haven't been in a tournament for some years now, right? So congratulations. That was her hire. So I won't say it's looking like it's panning out, but it's not bad as Pillow, right? So I'll give her kudos on that, right? She went out, she picked her own person, she got her, she's working out for the program. They went to the tournament, they had some success. Shout out to that, right? But if we're talking about the overlooking of the athletic department financially, fiscally, it's in a rough spot. And I don't know. What I'm curious to see is the fiscal year ends, I believe, either July 1st or July 31st, right? For that fiscal year. And I want to see if the books are balanced. I want to see if she's going to be able to balance the books, because at the end of the day, and I kept telling everybody from FAMU was jumping down my throat talking about we got the champion package. Oh, we don't need to go to the OBC. We're in the champions package, and we got champion package money and package of champions money. And I said, you just threw away a guaranteed $1 million for your financial. Like, you just threw away a guaranteed $1.5 million. Guaranteed. It was like boom, boom, boom. You was gonna guarantee to get that money. You threw away a guaranteed $500,000 because of 1 year of too much traveling. Okay. And that's what happens, Ashley. That's the issue, right? Because, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Listen, people, you got to understand, when you're in a position, when your position is dictated by constituents, right? There's certain ways you can and cannot move. If you're not in a position of power, you can't pull a power play with no power. That is my issue, right? She wanted to go out. She wanted to be the BGC, the big girl in charge. She wanted the BGIC, right? Big girl in charge. She wanted to show off. She wanted to tell you what she could and could not do. I'm going to do what I want to do. I want to bring in my coach. I. And then it falls, it fails. You still don't want to do what the people are telling you they want you to do. You go against the grain, and then you have the nerve to go and turn around and ask these same people for money. Black people at that. Shit. Come on, man. Stop playing. Black people don't get down like that, bro. Black people do not get down like that. Stop playing. Stop playing. But okay. Got to learn the hard way sometimes. Got to learn the hard way. All right. Let's get into a little spring ball. And the reason I want to get into this is because Bamas don't give two shits about the SWAC tournament. When people asking me about, Scotty, can you do a spring ball review of what these teams look like? I'm like, damn, we're in the middle of a SWAC tournament in basketball, but y'all want to know what the football teams look like. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's where we at. SWAC basketball means so little, so fetal that y'all Bama's want to talk about spring ball. Practices at that. Not a game. Practice. Okay. And my man BJ, he said it best. He said, have y'all started y'all own countdown to the opening of the 2020 HBCU football? Because why?
Something going on. I feel funny, can't tell me nothing different. My nose twitching, intuition.
I can feel it in the air. Football season is around the corner. And it's coming. All right? And it's coming. So let's talk a little spring ball. Talk a little Bama State spring ball. Because if I'm being honest, y'all know I'm cool with Andrew. Y'all know I'm cool with the bodies. And they had a semi-scrimmage, practice, whatever. And I'm just gonna tell you what people have told me. I didn't see it. Now I'm gonna try to be at the spring game. Me and Rocky, we're gonna try to work that out. We're gonna try to make it down to the spring game, April 6th, to Alabama State. So if y'all there, hit me up. But from what I've heard, I heard the defense looks good. I heard that Andrew looks good. I heard the wide receivers are pretty fast. Heard the linebackers are looking pretty decent. And I heard the secondary is a little shaky. Got to replace Mikey Victor and stuff like that. But overall, they should have a very top-notch team, right? They should be leading the pack in what it is. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to stand on this mark until I see something different. I think Eddie Robb is doing a good job of recruiting talent and putting himself in position to be a contender this year and probably win the SWAC East. But let me say this. If I'm watching these games and this Bama is running the ball 25 to 30 times, like forcing it, not like, hey, they can't stop us. We just gonna run the ball down and throw it. They can't stop us type stuff. But no, like you're just literally forcing the ball, forcing the run. I'm going to call all them Bamas to the carpet. Every last one of them. Barnett, the new OC, Eddie Robb, all them jokers. I'm gonna call all them jokers to the carpet because I know for a fact that's not what was been told. Let me just say that. I know for a fact that was not the pitch to the bodies of what style of play that this offense was going to look like. I'm not going to go into a deep dive because it don't need to, what was understood don't need to be said, right? That wasn't the pitch. So let me just be very clear. If I see the ball being ran 30 times forcefully, we're going to have a problem. And I will make it my mission. Make it my mission. Now, if they winning, you can't really do nothing if they winning. I'm still going to make my point. But if they winning, they winning, right? So, for Alabama State fans, they don't care how it looks like because they just want to win. You know what I'm saying? They so used to being at the bottom for the past years, getting their ass whooped that they just happy. They want to get past it just winning the classic, right? And be like, oh, we won our Super Bowl. We're going to walk away happy, right? So if they're in contention for the SWAC championship, they don't give a damn how it looks. I do. right? I absolutely do because I know what the pitch was. And we know recruiters lie and all that type of stuff. I understand it. I was in the military. Recruiters lie all the time, right? So just want to make that very clear. So I hope it all looks good. I hope it goes well for my boy Andrew. I'm gonna go to a couple games. I'm gonna be at the OBC. I'm gonna go to a home game at Alabama State, right? I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that. So I'm gonna be at a couple games. But if it don't look like how it's supposed to look, it's gonna be it's gonna be some tough sledding on this joker. It's gonna be some tough sledding on this channel right here because I'm not here to play with y'all, right? But at the end of the day, listen, I'm all for balance. Let me just be very clear. I'm not saying that Andrew needs to go out there and throw the ball 40 times. I don't believe in that. That ain't what it is. It's about having a balanced attack because the more balanced you are, the more deadly you are, right? Because and let's just keep it a buck. No matter how talented Shedeur was, he had no running game. They just keyed in on the pass, right? You didn't have to worry about running the ball. So you're having more high risk throws, more high velocity throws, more tight window throws because Bama's are just dropping 8 and saying, "Hey, run the ball. See if you can run the ball." Right? And the talent surrounding Shedeur, his talent to throw the ball, you see what he did while having a losing record that nobody likes to bring up for some reason. But anyway, so to me, it's like the more balanced you are as a team, the better the team can be. So I'm not like I want to be very clear. I'm not saying he needs to go out there and throw the ball 30, 40 times. I'm not a fan of that. But they know what it looked like. They should know what it looked like. That's all I'm gonna say. They better know what it looked like because that's what it better look like. All right. And last thing before I get up out of here. All right. I want to talk about this, man. I'm not the biggest person in what is it called? Civics or something like that. Y'all call it politics. I'm not that guy. I know my lane. I like to stick to it. Right. But the things that resonate with me is not really the politics of it. It's the activism part of it. Right. It's the part to me that I feel like these are the moments where the people in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, and even into the 90s, they fought for what they believed in and they rallied together, good, bad, or indifferent, if it changed, if it didn't change, but they wanted to show their support for what they felt was injustice. And I think sometimes we as Black men and women, we kind of say if it doesn't affect us directly, it's not, it doesn't need to be talked about or it doesn't need to be spoken on, right? And that's the part to me that bothers me, right? Like, I think the situation that is going on in Tennessee State, regardless of if people feel like we could stop it or not, because that's just how politics are and that's just how people are and that's just how red states are and things like that. But certain times I feel like it goes beyond just letting politics dictate what it is. I feel like we as a people need to find ways to rally together and do the best we can in protesting these situations. And I'm gonna play something. I'm gonna play a video clip I saw on Twitter of what really touched me. Here we go.
With power and using this as an opportunity to basically cut the legs out of Tennessee State University when they don't have to.
It's academic slavery because it goes back to 1979 when the University of Tennessee at Nashville was mandated to give what we now call the Avon Williams campus to a historically Black college. It was the first time that it happened. And all we was asking is that you allow us to get students to come to our university from our community. The University of Tennessee in Knoxville has spread itself from the east to the west of this state. And it seems like nothing is never enough. They all claim they're Christians, but there's nothing decent about just continuously to keep us in this political Groundhog Day of takeover. The only thing wrong with TSU is that outsiders and takeover mentality people need to leave it alone.
Seems like they've been underfunding TSU by hundreds of millions of dollars, and now they're blaming TSU for not having these resources.
Exactly. Same old game.
That plan hurts because if we're able to get our big dorms, which means we're able to house our students accordingly, then tuition alone. TSU only gets roughly 20% of its funding from the state in the first place. The bulk of the funding comes from tuition, dorm rentals, and direct donations, which I'm pleased to say. I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. We gifted the school in June of last year our first $100,000 plus. Alumni and students are doing what they need to do. And there's nothing wrong. TSU is a very successful school.
They're trying to take over all the rest of Nashville, and this is no exception.
It's all about handing power to a strategic few people, and it's all about hurting and harming black and brown communities where people are in the majority.
The Senate is over the appropriation of funds that goes to the university. Let's call them the bank. The bank knows they've been underfunding the university. They have not been due diligence in performing their duties and responsibilities. And now you're going to say Tennessee State hasn't done A, B, C, and D? I am a proud alumni, and I am a monthly financial supporter.
What would your message be for those senators?
Get ready. Get ready. It's time.
I absolutely love. I love that whole video, but I loved her simplistic breakdown of the Senate and how it affected the school, and her example of the Senate being the bank and the bank knowing they underfunded the school, but then you're gonna get mad at me because you underfunded me that I can't afford to do what I'm supposed to do to keep my upgrades. Right, and I want to go back with what Quentin Major said about if 1 million black people showed up at Nashville at the state capitol, they'll stop playing with us. I absolutely agree. Right, the thing for me is this. This is the thing for me. As Black Lives Matter is beyond police brutality. That's the thing to me that we have to understand. When we talk about Black Lives Matter and BLM, right? Like, yes, is police brutality an issue? Absolutely. But so is taking away put in place education for black and brown minority people. Because if I can't educate you, then how are you supposed to grow? Right? It's a lot of that. So to me, it's like you got to incorporate Black Lives Matter. You got to incorporate the NAACP. You have to incorporate a lot of black and brown programs that need to show up for these type of events. It's the same way Ben Crump shows up for all the civil rights actions that happen against black people. It's the same way we have to show up for institutions and for issues that plague our community, right? So to me, it's like you see it in the older generations. They're used to fighting, right? Like there's a disconnect, and it's like a good and bad disconnect when it comes to like my generation and younger and the older generation, right? There are certain things that when the older generation, they had the willingness to fight for, but then they also had the willingness to conform, right? And I hope I'm saying this correctly. Like there were things that they just said, we're going to stand up and fight. And then there's things that we will just conform. And I think that for us, the new generation, is that there's things that we will not conform to, but then there's things we won't fight. Like, and let me give you a good example, right? Like for my mom, benefits was my mom's biggest thing. Like if you got a job with benefits, it's like, oh my God, why did you leave? Oh my God, you need to stay for 40 years. Oh my, and that in the new era of employee to employer worker relationship, that is not benefits is not the end all be all. It's a work-life balance. It's a comfortable, it's the atmosphere. Like in the older days, they would be miserable just working a job to get a paycheck. And nowadays, kids will quit at the drop of a dime. If you look at me the wrong way, I'll quit, right? But The way that the older generation would stand up and fight and vote and be in the line and do everything that was necessary to change laws, and the way they were being treated is not what you'll have in this day and age with the younger generation. They'll feel like, well, if I don't vote because my vote doesn't count, or I'm just going to lose anyway, or why do I need to protest? That doesn't affect me. That's not my problem. It's a lot of that until it comes to your front doorstep, and then you're asking people for help and then getting upset when they view you in the same light that you view them. That is one of my biggest issues when it comes to how we as a people, it's not black, it's people, how we view people, right? Because I can get on here. This is my thing. This is one of my biggest things. This is why I'm very cognizant about helping or donating or whatever, because you never know when you're going to be on the other side of the fence. You never know when it's going to be your turn at the gate asking for assistance, asking for help. But then when you see it done by somebody else, you'll scoff at it. You're like, oh, that's not me. That's not my problem, right? They should have done better this, or they should do better that, or they should have managed this or that. And it's and at the time, yes, does that critique or that criticism need to be had? Absolutely, but not at that moment. You get what I'm saying? Not at that moment. So when I saw this video, the thing for me, and the thing I would challenge every Black-owned media space, right, is to, because listen, I'm not the biggest Black-owned media space in the world. I'm not, right? Like, but it's just certain things I feel is like, at some point in time, we have to, as a people, start rallying each other to say, when is this going to stop? When is this going to stop? When are we going to put an end to the bullying of our institutions, of our programs, of our value, of it's so much. It's just so much that you see on a constant day-to-day basis that if you get numb to losing, you'll just start taking everything, right? If you get numb, if you get content on losing, you'll just keep taking it. And that is my biggest issue, is that at some point in time, if it's not now, if it's not later, if it's not at some point, we have to get tired of losing. And at some point, we have to push through and fight and do multiple things on our behalf. So, and listen, you're right. It might fall on deaf ears, but the one thing that he tells me all the time is it won't be on me, right? Like, as long as, to me, I'm going to continue to do my part in every aspect, right? So when people tell me, Scotty, you're beating a dead horse, I'm going to beat it. I'm going to beat it, right? Because I don't want nobody to ever say, well, Scotty, you didn't, like, no. No, I was an advocate for change. I was an advocate for fighting. I was an advocate for protesting. I'm an advocate for doing what is right for our people. I am an advocate for making sure we're getting our value. I'm an advocate of getting dumb people out of the position of power. I'm an advocate for people who are giving their money to have expectations of the people that are in charge of that. That is what I'm an advocate for, and I always will be. I'm an advocate of a student who doesn't have the power at his institution. PWI, HBCU, black, white, Puerto Rican, it don't matter. I'm an advocate. Right? Like, I can't stand, what pisses me off is I can't stand seeing Nick Saban at Capitol Hill talking about, when I brought kids in, my wife came to me and my wife said, baby, why are we still doing this? We love developing young men. Like, what do you know about developing a black man? Honestly, Like, let's keep it a buck. What in the slightest idea could you have in developing a black man other than telling them how and what to do right for football and go to school and not get in trouble? Like, what? Where in the world could I make you millions of dollars, and then when I tell you I want to get paid for my value, I get scoffed at? Where in the capitalist society that we live in today, where swimmers can get paid, tennis, college athletes can go pro, play in tournaments. If you are in an octet in a band, you can travel the world and get paid. But the two biggest sports in college athletics that are majority black people, we get put on the plantation and said, hey, you're sharecropping, but we're not giving you none of the shares. What sense does that make? And then you have people who pacify that because it doesn't fit the status quo. Oh, what will college athletics look like? Oh, how are we? Well, somebody got to win a championship. If it's the same damn team, I don't give two shits as long as they playing the black boys that are putting their ass in a championship game. You got the game all twisted. First of all, it's a freaking game. It's a game. Second of all, I don't give a damn if Ohio State wins that whole 10 years running. I don't give a damn if the whole defensive back is getting paid $1 million. They've earned every cent. Every cent. Period. It doesn't make sense because nobody thinks about how hard their journey was to get to Ohio State, how hard their journey could have been to get to Alabama, the late nights, the early mornings, the weightlifting, the running, because if it was easy, everybody could do it. So you're just mad now that instead of players coming to your institution for free, bump all that scholarship shit. I don't want to hear nothing. Do not put in the chat about some damn freaking scholarship, because those kids have paid that and some based off the football the product of football that they put on the field. So miss me with that. The first game of the season at Power 5 schools, they get all that money back. So I don't want to hear it. But all you'll hear is how this has damaged college athletics. No, it is no longer to where that, and let's just call it a spade, that the plantation owner controls the slaves. Because that's what it was. The plantation owner, right? You got the school and the head coach. Because at first, okay. Yeah, let's break this down. Let's break this down because I'm feeling it right now. Because at first, okay, here you go. Think about this. It starts off with the school and the coaches, and the plantation owner is the coach. And the coach tells you come to the coach before all this comes. Hey, plantation owner. Hey, boss, I want to go to Auburn down the street. No, you can't go there. Now, mind you, I'm a free man. I got my papers. I got freedom of speech. I got all the amendments and bills. But when I get shoved into college athletics, I am no longer able to make a free and willing decision to leave said institution and go somewhere else. I had the free will to choose the school to go and play football, but once I didn't like it, I was no longer able to do so without the permission of said plantation owner. Okay, let's continue. So then they install the transfer portal. So now it's a wild, wild west. Kids just upping and leaving and going as they must. You do it every day at your job. You at a job right now on Indeed looking at your new job. Let's not play this game like that is not life. And I'm going to always say this. You have to get out of the customs and the this is just how it is. And it's been like this mentality. Because if you look at the real world, it never goes down like that. Companies are always losing their best employee to other jobs, to other corporations. That's what they're called, the headhunters. They got jobs for people who go and sniper out people to come to their corporations. Is that not recruiting? That sounds like a transfer portal to me. Okay, let's continue. Now, NIL gets brought into it. And then this is the complaint from Dion. This is the complaint from Nick Saban. This is the complaint for all the coaches. It's really not a name, image, and likeness. It's really more like a collective. I mean, really, how many people have you seen on a commercial? How many people have you seen on a billboard? My son has Gatorade. My son has Beats. And who gives two shits? It's not about the name. It's not, every kid is not going to be a household name. But that kid is a part of an institution that is making billions off of them. And it's the same thing as if you go to work. Not every employee is paid the same. They're all getting paid, but nobody is getting paid the same, right? You got your VP. Your VP ain't getting paid like the administrative assistant. They're all part of the whole. They're all a part of the whole, but some people get bigger pieces of the pie. You can't get mad that a collective is paying a multiple of people when the brands only want one player. Really? It's like that. So explain to me, if in the NCAA, if their whole guidance is the amateurism of sports, how is somebody explain to me why the NCAA president isn't working for free? Somebody explain to me why, if he's the leader of amateurism sports, why is he not doing it on a volunteer basis? If it's not about the money, I'm just saying, you're the leader of amateurism. You're an advocate of not paying players, but yet you're making a full salary on the governance of it all. This what we doing? So no, I don't feel for Nick Saban. I can give two shits for a white man who's made over $30 million in his career because he knows how to coach football. It is a freaking game. I tell my son all the time, football will not make or break you. It is a game. It is entertainment. And Nick Saban made millions of dollars off coaching a game that was made up by an individual. Hey, I think this sport might be fun. What if we took an oval ball and threw it from one end to the other end and called it football? What do you think? He didn't discover electricity. He didn't make a peanut. He didn't shoot an orbit into outer space. The Bama coaches football and recruits black players. Congratulations. You're good. Like what are we doing? What are we doing? The way we view these guys is like, Like, really? Really? It's ridiculous to me that people are given such reverence because you coach a game. Dog, what? It does. I wouldn't give a damn if Nick Saban was black. I still would not care. I would still be if Nick Saban was Nicholas Thomas and he walked his ass up in Capitol Hill and said the same dumb shit. I would say, bro, what are we talking about right now? You done made over $100 million coaching a freaking game. And you're mad that the same players, because all of them didn't go to the NFL, but they all didn't get paid. Huh? I need y'all to think about this. Like, for real. Like, really understand what I'm saying right now. All the kids did not go to the NFL that you coached, but 90% of the kids in your career had never made a dime off playing the sport that made you millions. Really? And you don't see nothing wrong with that, but you're supposed to be the advocate for doing it better for NIL? Sit your white ass down. Sit your white ass down. And I would tell anybody, that's Deion included, sit your dumb ass down. You a millionaire complaining about collectives paying to get players. Now, let me be very clear, and we all understand, if Deion was able to have a collective of money to pay for players, he would. You know why? Because not everybody can go to the NFL, and he will sell you a dream. Oh, you know, I'm not worried about the NIL. I'm worried about the NFL. Not everybody going to the NFL. You might have 3 players on your own Colorado team that might go to the NFL. What about the other 60 Bamas who ain't going? They don't deserve to get paid. No, I do not have a problem with kids sitting in front of coaches and saying, how much can you pay me? Because that's what the same thing them coaches do when they go to the schools. You don't think Lincoln Riley, when he was leaving Oklahoma, sat down with USA and said, how much can you pay me to leave? You don't think Brian Kelly sat down with LSU and said, how much can you pay me to leave? To come to your institution? You don't think when Kirby Smart went to Georgia, he was like, yo, hey, Georgia, what you trying to pay for me to come up there and coach? Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me, man. So like I said, I don't give a damn if you black. I don't give 2 shits if you white. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And just because that there might be I don't give a damn if there's a log jam at the top. I don't give 2 shits. It's a football game. I'm going to go watch the games anyway because it's football. Bama's was still watching the Warriors, even though the Warriors was whooping ass and taking names. Bama's was still watching the Lakers when the Lakers was kicking ass. Everybody was still watching the NBA when the Spurs was winning. Everybody was watching NBA when Michael Jordan was winning. It happens. That's how sports go. It's a log jam at the top. It falls off. It comes on. It goes down. That's life. It's a freaking football game. Man. And thank you. That's what really happened. Saban, first of all, he couldn't relate to these players anymore because now the players are coming and saying like, yo, you making millions. I want to make money. How much can you pay me? And he didn't know how to answer that damn question. That's why the Bama done got up out of there. Ain't about no developing young men. You didn't know how to answer the damn question when somebody say, yo, how much you gonna pay me? Because the coaches nowadays, you better get on board. And I'm sick and tired of all these coaches talking about, well, if you ain't got no money, you can't recruit. Bro, You can't buy everybody. Like, goddamn. You can't buy everybody. Some kids are going to come to your school just because they want to come to your school. Just because they have the opportunity. The kids that need to get bought, they're going to get bought. They're going to get paid for. The kids you can't pay for, you can't pay for them. They ain't in your budget. Some kids ain't going to get paid. They're going to be like, you know what? Do I want to go D2 or do I just want to go D1? Shit, I just go D1. I don't need no money. Like, bro, stop it, man. Like, these coaches, man, they got to stop. I'm sorry. I know I'm getting way off track and this is super, super off script, but goddamn, it just bothers me, man. Like, every time they come to the podium, it's, oh, man, it's getting really hard to recruit now. I mean, kids are asking how much can they pay me and blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. If you was good at your job, you want more money? I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm done. I'm gonna get off my soapbox right now. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. And listen, HBCU fans, let me be very clear. Understand that NIL and collectives are really, you can do them, but they're not going to be to the uber benefit to your institution, right? Because at the end of the day, let me tell you this. If HBCUs focus more on the facilities and NILs, you'll be in a better place, period. Why? Because of the culture. Because of the culture, because of the women, because of the environment that you're putting these kids in, right? So you focusing on NILs is kind of like it's like you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, where you should be keeping up with the Joneses at facilities. If you have a nice facility, you have nice dorms, there's going to be players that just going to come because they're like, hey, this shit nice. This shit dope. The collective should be like a afterthought. An NIL should be an afterthought. It should be, how can we upgrade what we have to then sooner or later get NIL deals? The same P5 coaches who are complaining are the same ones blame for all this. Come on, man. Too easy. Thank you, Blue. You know what I'm saying? So to me, at the end of the day, understand this, right? You got to look at HBCU football as entertainment, pure, unadulterated entertainment. You can't look at it. You have to look at it for entertainment and the value of money it can possibly bring in, right? Understanding that the Power Five is Wall Street. You don't got Wall Street money, okay? You don't have Wall Street money. But what you do have is you got Vanguard money, right? Get you a little index fund. Invest in that index fund and watch it grow over the years. Don't go into Wall Street trying to day trade and you ain't got the funds. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if there's any better analogy than that, right? You're not on Wall Street. Get you a nice little index fund. You know, get you a nice little mutual fund that does the whole market and just slowly invest and watch what your stuff will become over time. But to go into this and say, oh, we got to get an NIL. Oh, we got to get this. Oh, we got to get. There's just some players you're going to miss out on. It's just the fact of the matter. Because you don't have the money. And why am I going to put myself in a bind? Because I know I ain't got the money. And that's not what we're doing. Hey, listen, our football is for entertainment, for our fans, for the student athlete. You know, if we get special players, we get special players. Right? Like it's you got to understand your value in your lane. And it's okay. It still means you go out and recruit, you go out and develop and understand what comes with it, right? Because it's no different than a small business. Once you're a small business and a big business sees you, what are they going to try to do? They're going to try to, hey, I like your HR manager. Hey, you want to come up here and make $150,000? That's just part of the game. It's a part of the game. Transfer portal, going up, going down, coming in, coming out, right? You need to be looking at the D2 players, the D3 players that have slipped through the cracks and like, hey, he can play for me. Oh, he's good enough to do it. You have to do a better grassroots evaluation of talent and stop just living in the transfer portal, right? Because a lot of those kids that drop downs are drop downs for a reason. You get what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there, man. Let me see. How can they upgrade what they have in the conference make every member school have a higher base commitment to paying coaches and support staff and facilities. Listen, man, listen, at the end of the day, it comes, I'm gonna keep saying it, it comes with cooperative economics. You have to be on one accord to move forward, right? You got to use everybody to move forward. Listen, let me be very clear. You have to look at HBCU as a military branch, right? And this is what I'm saying. The Army, the Navy, the Marines, the name, right? HBCU, you can, they're simul, you know what I'm saying? They're interchangeable. The commissioner, call him your president, right? The president, because the president of the United States, the Secretary of Defense, they all control the branches of the battalions, the companies, and all that, right? But the Army, the Marines, the Navy, they're always on one goal, one mission, right? One for everybody does their own thing, but it's all to the a testament of the mission, right? What is the mission? To protect and defend the United States of America, right? That is the mission. So to me, with HBCU, is the cooperative economics is, yes, we all have our own entity. We all have our own company. We all have our own battalion. But what is the overall goal and mission of an HBCU athletic-wise? Athletic-wise, right? Because every problem has a different mission. It all can't be the same mission because everything's going to need something differently, right? So it's like, for athletics, what is our goal? Well, our goal is to have a media entity or a media brand or a media deal with this and that funds this, and we can do this and we can do that. Or, hey, visually, everybody be on the same accord. Okay, what's the mission? Okay, hey, we're trying to build a CIAA type of feature to where you can watch all the games, old games. We're trying to build a SWAC network, a MEAC network, a HBCU sports network, right? Because you can't pick and choose when you want to decide to be family. The next thing you know, you cousins. The next thing you know, you distant cousins. Because what's funny to me is the CIAA, the SIAC, the SWAC, the MEAC, they want to be family when it's convenient, right? When they all want to dick ride for HBCU go, that's when they want to be family. But then when it comes to actually coming together and coming up with a plan for like, hey, what can we do as a brand, a network, HBCUs? What can we do? What can we manage it, right? Because the little people are going to need the big people. And the big people are going to need the little people. Why? Let's go into it. Let's break it down. The little people are going to need the big people to bring the eyes, right? So you need a Jackson, a Grambling, a Norfolk, a South Carolina State. You need that to bring the eyes to a Morehouse, to a GCAC, to an Xavier, to a Dillard, to a Virgin Islands, to a Miles College, right? But you also need the little people because of all their content. Just the galore of content that now you have on your network, right? So if it's Kentucky State's band, if it's Miles' band, if it's FMU's band, right? Now you just got content for days, right? If it's you doing your own battles for the HBCU network, if it's just multiple things that come in the cahoots to where now you can go to advertisers and package it up and say, listen, we got so much content, it's ridiculous. Why not advertise on our platform? But that's neither here nor there. Y'all got me going. Y'all got me going all over the place, and y'all got me truly looking at some off-script type stuff, right? So all I'm saying is this. At the end of the day, there's a lot of things that we can do better as people. There's a lot of things as people we need to fight for. There's a lot of things as Black people we need to stand up and put our foot down on what we will and will not accept, right? And if it's just controlling your institution and what they're doing, what they're not doing, then that's what it is. If it's going out and protesting or getting behind Tennessee State and their issues and going on, then that's what it is. But at some point, we cannot become numb to being able to lose, right? We can't be numb to losing. We shouldn't be numb to asking questions. I've never seen so many fearful ass Black people, right? When your food messed up, You got all the energy in the world. But where you don't know where the money's going, nobody want to ask questions. I'm going to drop a bomb for my damn self. When your hotel room bed is messed up and it's dirty, you got all the stuff you can say about that. But where you don't know when you don't know what your administration is doing at your said institution, don't nobody want to speak up. Right? When you don't think the commissioner is doing his job accordingly or correctly or overstepping his bounds or putting you into lawsuits, don't nobody want to say shit about that. I had a president tell somebody who told me that the reason that they allowed Dr. McNugget to move the way he's moved over the past few years is that the presidents have so much on their plate that athletics is the last thing on their mind. But it's funny to me, it'll be the first thing you ask for money for. It's last on your mind when dealing in the business of athletics. But when you want the money from it, when you want donors to donate to it, when you want people to come support, put their money behind it, then you all in the nitty-gritty. But when the business side of it is not handled, then y'all don't care. Nobody cares about that. All right. All right. But that's been my time, guys. Y'all done got me on a tangent. I didn't want to take it there, but that's what it is. That's what the Lord felt need to make happen. Lord, thank you. Thank you, Lord, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for that information and that revelation of a rant. All right. Listen, guys, I appreciate everybody. I told y'all, man, the content's not coming like it was, but those transfers, okay, I'm gonna do my transfer evaluations. They are coming. Stay with me. All right. Listen, until next time, you know what I'm gonna do. I'm a holla. God bless.